Alright, so I just watched yesterday evening my beloved Saints lose to the Minnesota Vikings in the most heartbreaking manner possible. Been crushed all morning, just can't get over it. So I'm going to take out my frustrations on the bass population, maybe the crappie population as well, on the Tchefuncte River. Now this is one of the toughest fisheries in the entire state. It's just a terrible fishing. Just not a lot of fish in it at all. We set the over-under at a half fish. A half a bass, that's it. So our goals aren't very high, our expectations aren't high, but I'm hoping we can make it happen. Come along with us and let's see. Good Lord, I hope the rest of the river doesn't look like this. It's a mud hole. I mean, this is bad. Bad, bad. Alright, so we're starting in the main river, which may not be the best idea. The water here is really, really dirty. We got maybe 2 inches of visibility, and of course it's chilly. Water temp's 53 degrees. I know in some parts of the country that's not that low, but that's very low here in South Louisiana. So I don't think we're going to do this long, but we got a shoreline here that we really like. The shoreline's got really good depth.
Yeah, it's falling.
Yeah, definitely falling. Oh, that's a big bass. That's a big bass. Not that big, but he's nice. That's a good start. That's a good start. Get it. Nice. Nice. Nice fish. Nice fish. Well, there we go.
Yes.
That's why you fish the Tchefuncte in the winter. So literally, we've been fishing 3 minutes. I don't know if we've been fishing 3 minutes. And Joel just caught this, probably a 3-pound fish.
2.5, 3.
2.5, 3-pound fish. Z-Man jig. Actually, the fish not quite as big as I thought he was, but it's actually a very nice fish for this area. Z-Man jig. What color?
Black, blue, little watermelon.
All right, there we go. That's a start.
Boom.
That's a start. Did he thump it or was he running?
No, he thumped it.
So we're really fishing big baits. There he is. Oh, no, 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 no. You saw my line running?
Yeah.
Oh, ah. Okay. As I was saying, we're really fishing big baits. Joel's fishing a Z-Man cross-eyes jig. And I've got on a black and blue sweet beaver, which is a creature bait. We're trying to catch bigger fish. There's a lot of dinks on this river. In fact, we fish a bass club every Wednesday night on this river. And the limit's not even 12 inches, it's 11 inches for the club. But this place does have some decent bass. In fact, one of Joel's buddies caught a 6'2" yesterday. So it can happen. This is a place to come if you really want to sharpen your fishing skills, because it will test you. Joel, what do you estimate? How many casts had you made when you caught that fish? 3, 4?
5 maybe?
Maybe 5?
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes that's kind of a curse. You catch one too quickly, but sometimes it's a good omen. So Joel and I have a real love-hate relationship with this river. As you can tell, it's absolutely gorgeous. It is probably the prettiest waterway in the entire state of Louisiana. We live on this river, so we fish it a good bit, but it is maddeningly unpredictable. You'll catch fish on a particular pattern one day, come back the next with exact same conditions, and you can't buy a bite on any pattern. Happens all the time. Pre-fishing for tournaments is almost a waste of time because how you catch fish one day, they almost never bite the same way the next day. But what's great about this river is how rewarding the bites are, because you know it's tough. So when you do get fish, you really feel good about it. Last season, Joel caught a 4.5 pounder to win big bass in a tournament on a buzzbait. But to tell you how tough the place is, he also won first place in that tournament. He only had 7 pounds. 7 pounds won the tournament. Got me jealous. I want one. Yeah, this place you gotta earn them. Nothing comes cheap. See, I don't like these trees like that. There's no water.
There's so much flat that just comes off.
Yeah, it's like maybe in the spring, just like a slope bank. I like where you caught that one, and like that tree right there we passed. I don't see a whole lot of others like that on this stretch. Man, that's a pretty day. I'll tell you that. Pretty day on a pretty river with some ugly water. Nothing is quite as sticky as moss. Spanish moss. It'll hold on to a lure like a 10-pound bass. All right, so we're on a shoreline now that has a lot of scattered cover. Not a lot of depth, however, so I've switched over to a spinnerbait. And Joel is throwing a white square-bill crankbait. We're hoping that since it's kind of the afternoon, some of these fish will have moved up into the shallower water to kind of warm up a little bit. I'm gonna blaze this around this hyacinth patch. Well, this winter's been tough on the hyacinths. Tough on the dollar lilies too. This water's so incredibly low. So for those who don't know, the Tchefuncte River is tidal. And with all this cold weather we've been having, had a lot of northwest winds, and that's just blown the water out. Generally, when fishing the Tchefuncte, I like the water low. Oh, he got off. He got off. It was a big bass. Oh, God. Ah, that hurts. He came toward the boat, almost flipped him in, and I'm like, no, I better get the net. How big you think he was? Ah, heartbreaking. First my Saints lose, then I lose a big bass. It's just not my week.
You had a bad hook set, huh?
No, I had a good hook set. He just got off. It happens. I should have not let him turn. I should have flipped him in right when he was coming to the boat. And I really could have. No, he wouldn't have broken me off. No way. It wasn't that big. I had to give him time because I had to turn the camera on. So I just had to kind of use my arm as leverage. That may have hurt me. All right, so Joel and I each made a change. We're kind of fishing for bites now rather than bigger fish. So we don't have much longer to fish bass before we go try and catch some sac-a-lait. So I'm going with a black zoom trick worm, and Joel is fishing a Ned rig. All right, so that's it for the bass fishing. I mean, this place is tough. And you know, we really spent most of the day fishing for nice fish. Switched up here for the last 5 or 10 minutes just trying to get bites, and it just didn't happen. We're kind of getting that sac-a-lait bug. Wanting to go see if we can get some bites from them. Still a little bit early in the year. We generally don't fish them until about February, but it's just such a pretty day. Just want to go try and see if we can catch a few. First, though, we got to get our sac-a-lait stuff all rigged up, and we'll be on our way. All right, so we're back in the sac-a-lait grounds. We're definitely early in the season. So I don't know if it's gonna happen tonight or not, but any day now those fish are gonna show up back here. And they are a blast to catch. Of course, they're great to eat. So I'm using a 1/32 ounce jig head with a black and chartreuse curly tail micro jig. Joel is fishing a Matrix Mini. We both got them about 18 inches, maybe 24 inches under a cork. But I think I'm gonna throw a bass bait just for a minute while Joel's throwing this. Water back here is really pretty. Definitely the prettiest water we've seen today. And of course, you know, it's an old bass adage. You want to fish the cleanest water you can find when the water's cold. So I'm gonna give this a minute, see what happens. Look at the normal water level. Look at these trees. Look at that. That's about 4 foot. I wouldn't say it's 4 foot, but it's a good 2.5. Yeah. All right, so our day started with a bang. Joel caught a really nice bass on maybe his 5th cast, and then things got really, really slow. We stuck with the big baits for a while. I lost a really nice fish at boat side, and then we decided to come fish these sac-a-lait, but weather's been really chilly down here, and it just hasn't got going yet. No bites at all. Pretty water back here. It's just not any fish in it yet. We're a couple of weeks early at least. As cold as this winter's been, maybe we're even earlier than that. Might be a late spawn this year. Now there are definitely sac-a-lait that can be had in the main part of the defuncta, in the heart of the winter. Fishing deep water, 18 to 20 feet. But it's just not our thing. We just don't do it. We don't know where those productive treetops are. We generally stick with the bass this time of year until the sac-a-lait move into these backwaters. So we're really racing the clock now because it's getting late. The sun's getting low on the horizon and it is really getting cold. They got a mega front coming tonight, so that's definitely going to cool things off. Water temperatures all day between 52 and about 56 in these backwaters. It's going to fall a lot from that. Every year at this time, kind of jump the gun a little bit, looking for that spring bite to start. And you know, last year we had no winter. We just did not have a winter, so it got rolling really early. But that's not the case this year. Still though, you come out here and spend a couple hours like we did and hook a couple of really nice bass. It's not a bad day. I can think of worse ways to spend a couple hours, particularly when you live on the river. Just makes life a lot easier. I had to trailer my boat about a half a mile to launch.